Hello, brave awakened ones. QV here. Actually, EV here. What's up? Hope everyone's doing all right through these crazy, insane changes. I myself, I've been offline for a minute because I've been going through a lot. I hope you like the scenery. It's my new digs, my new home. This is an absolute dream. I can't even tell you guys. Sanctuary. And it literally is. That's like the name of the place. But here I am. This is the private beach on the property. Um, Actually, this is a rather serious video. I'm making for you guys here. This is Saturday. What is today? The 3rd of January, 2020. 3rd of January. Oh my God. The 3rd of December, 2022. Yeah. Consider this an NRV. If you guys don't know, NRV is New Revelation or Remote View Video. New Remote View, that's what NRV stands for, or New Revelation Video. I'm giving revelations. I do remote views, not on purpose. I'm not one of those people who sits there and looks for it. Never have. Never will, actually. It just happens. And this one happened while I was packing my stuff. I just moved here and finished my moving. Actually, it was like almost 12:30 midnight, 12:30 in the morning. I finally finished moving in. It was a harrowing experience, and it actually ties into what's going on. It even ties into the NRV because it was hell. Let me tell you, Satan was busy trying to make sure I don't end up here. And at sunrise this morning while I was in bed, I was hit with a heck of an energy. It was absolutely amazing. It was this blast of light that came through my window. I thought it was like the lights outside or something, like those street lights or something. But no, it was the sun. I didn't even realize it was already sunrise time but it just burst through like somebody flicked on a switch. And my body was just like vibrating, wavy gravy. It was very interesting. And then I heard the divine say, this is what they were trying to stop you from receiving. You finally made it. You're here. And I was like, okay, I'm on my level up. So yesterday, well, it was happening. Let's not just say yesterday. It's been going on for the past few weeks. Things just ratcheting up. For an example, just this week alone, close to almost a dozen times, I either almost got into a car accident or was almost run over by a car. So it was crazy. And then yesterday, I thought everything, my moves always have been smooth, because I always plan in advance, pay in advance, do everything's tight. So I get to U-Haul and the truck I reserved, nope, we don't have it. You're going to have to take a 15-footer. I'm like, 15-footer's not going to do anything for me. That's not what I reserved. I even paid in advance. I was like, no, you guys can't do that. Well, you're just going to have to take it. So I pitch a shit fit. So then they called corporate, and there was somebody that was over an hour late. So they said, you're going to have to give her their truck. And so I ended up with even a bigger truck than I reserved. And guess what? I needed it. So the divine was constantly reminding me, everything meant for your harm is going to turn for your good. They may try to do bad to you, but it's going to be, the divine, because of the energies that I run with, the script will be flipped in my favor. Let's put it that way. So then that was fun. I was like, okay, great. I still was in time. My movers was supposed to come at 9 a.m. I'm like, okay, cool. I was already packed, clean, everything ready to go. So these two little scrawny little soy boys show up. I'm like, ooh, like, dang, that I booked the movers. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. And one of them, the little guy, he was my height and my size, which is real small for a dude. He's like, well, there's a lot of stuff. I'm like, okay. And they start moving. I'm like, they were dragging my beautiful leather couch. And I'm like, listen, why don't you guys put the furniture pads? And I helped them put the furniture pads on. And then they were gone for a good 30 minutes. I'm like, what the heck's going on? They were just moving one damn thing and some boxes. And I looked over and they were talking. Then they come back. They just left my stuff there. And then the little guy was like, yeah, we decided we can't do this job. I was like, excuse me? I was like, I already paid you guys. What do you mean you can't do this job? Well, we just can't, we'll tell U-Haul to issue you a refund, but you have a lot of expensive wood furniture and it's too much of a liability for us. I was like, what? So, your girl just went Brooklyn on them. Let's just put it that way. Unfortunate for them, I'm not an evil bitch, because one of them, the tall dude, the tall, scrawny, spaghetti arm dude, he forgot his cell phone on my kitchen counter, and I was actually kind enough to go chase them down in the parking lot and give them their phone. I said, see, if I was a wicked bitch, I would have smashed your damn phone, but I'm not. And I smacked it into his hand. And he's like, well, we really wish you best of luck. And I said, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck your luck. All right. And then I walked away. Needless to say, there was a lot of other stuff I said to them too in between that time. So I went, and lucky for me, U-Haul found me these two men. They were able to come over and get my stuff out of the damn parking lot and out of the hallway and rearrange everything. And thank God it went rather smooth. My stuff didn't get damaged. Don't ever call boys to do a men's job, but I didn't know I was going to get a couple of scrawny soy boys, but I was like, what the heck is going on, God? Why is this happening? And then I was shown how the evil spirits that roam the earth, how they influence, and it was literally, it tried to influence the taller dude, but it couldn't. Then I saw it whispering, and it was so funny because while the little guy was telling me why they can't do it, blah, blah, all his BS excuses that contradicted each other, I saw something whispering in his ear. I was like, what the freak is going on here? And then I was told that the divine allowed that to happen so I could see how it's done. How those spirits, they roam the earth, seeing who they could influence. And they get to the one they could influence. And they whisper in their ears. And they cause doubt. They cause fear. They cause shame. They whisper all these wicked thoughts into their ears. Make them think that they're thoughts. And they're not their thoughts. They're suggestions. And if you're susceptible to those suggestions, you'll fall for it. And they're literally agents of the dark ones. And yeah, the 3 letter agencies, they're part of the whole thing. They're involved in it. Like they have, like think of Solomon's ring, how Solomon controlled the demons with his rings. They control certain spirits and demons and send them out and be like, hey, whisper in that one's ear. Find a susceptible soul to go do an FAFA at Walmart. You see what I'm saying? I was like, holy smoke. And then what the NRV is about is the other day I was told while packing that Kanye, he's on a suicide mission. I was like, you don't say. And then I was shown that he knows what he's doing. He's totally he's totally with it. And when it comes to what he did on Alex Jones and what he did when he went to go see Trump and all that kind of stuff, that it was, and acting like a quote unquote crazy person, it's because he knows he's on a kamikaze mission. And he's going to say, oh, as a crazy person, blah, blah. But then he's going to have receipts. He's going to produce the receipts. But everyone's going to be like, oh, he's just a crazy person. But then people are like, but wait a minute. Crazy person. Whoa, what is he showing us? You see how the whole Balenciaga thing is blowing up, and then he shows up all hooded up with a stupid gimp head on and stuff like that. That's all part of it. That's all part of the act. Now, when it comes to Hollyweird, and not just Hollyweird, but the people who quote unquote sell their souls, which they really do. It's not sell their soul. They give up their souls for the fame, the fortune, the money, what have you. It's not just about Hollyweird. It's about, bankers, anybody. It could be anybody, actually. And they literally sign their name in blood. Okay, I know someone personally who did stuff like that. You literally signed your name in blood when you when you get to a certain point, they come up to you with the contract. But what a lot of these people don't pay attention to is the fine print. You know, it's always about lies and deception. You know how they say Rihanna, Kanye talks about how his mom was a sacrifice, and you have Jay-Z's mom, Tupac's mom who went down, Bruno Mars's mother, Jennifer Hudson's, and you know, like three members of her family were taken down. I was shown very clearly that when they signed their contracts, when they get to a certain level, when they offered all of this, in the contract it says, if you try to stray from our deal, we'll take out a family member. We'll take out a loved one. And one I was shown specifically was Nelly. Nelly the rapper, there was one of his boys, part of his group, that was gunned down very early on, just when they were hitting the peak of fame. Disclaimer, this is just the babblings of somebody who sees shit, okay? I'm not looking to harm anybody or to defame anyone. Okay, there we go, disclaimer. Any which ways. So specifically with that, I was shown, because I was living in Queens at the time, and the guy was from Queens or something. It was a big deal in Queens, let's put it that way, in New York. So like there were like billboards, you know, commemorating him and shit like that. So I was specifically shown that, how those people, when you see that they lose a loved one like that, it's not that they quote unquote sacrificed their loved one, gave their loved one up for sacrifice. On the contrary, this is the one that's going to blow your mind. On the contrary, it's not about them giving up their family member's soul to become famous. It's that they signed the contract, didn't read the fine print, didn't pay attention to it. It was like, yeah, no, whatever, it's not going to happen. Didn't take it seriously enough, okay? And then when they were about to get to the next level, they find out about all the, you know, fans of the playground people and all of that crazy stuff, especially what Balenciaga's showing. You know, we all know all the pizza stuff and everything going on. Once they're made hip to that and told to do certain stuff, they're like, oh, heck no. I didn't know this was all about Balenciaga and all about that kind of life. And they didn't want part of that life. So in order to get them in line, because they don't want off the talent. The talent is making them millions and millions and millions and pushing their agenda. So they off a loved one. It's not that they sacrificed their loved one. They're murdered. They're murdered. That is what happens. And then they get back in line. Be like, hey, you don't get back in line, we're going to take even more. So when it comes to Jennifer Hudson, she was really trying to get out. And if you recall, right after that triple murder in her family, she married that guy. And he is actually her handler. That's what I was shown. So a lot of trainers and spouses are really handlers. So that is what happened. Their loved ones are taken out. Like Rihanna's grandma. Whoever you're closest to, they will go for the jugular to get you back in line. And that's how these people fall back in line. The ones that you see, nothing has happened to any of their loved ones, like a J-Lo and a Beyonce, or Kobe, they're compliant. They go into it knowingly. They go into it wanting it. They don't care. They fall in head over heels for it. So that's what happens. So I was like, oh, and here's another kicker, that the reason why I had to make this NRV, I was told that some of these people actually will come across this information I'm putting out right now, and it'll be a trigger to wake them up. But also, on the other hand, a lot of them are going to off themselves, suicide themselves. The industry, whatever they're in, that's controlling them, They're not going to put it as a suicide. They're going to say, oh, it was an accident, it was this, it was that, whatever they're going to come up with, because they don't want people to know what the heck's going on. But the reason why they're going to off themselves is because they're going to realize, I cannot get out of this. If I try, they're going to take out my mom or my dad or my child. So they'd rather off themselves to save their families. So that's coming up very soon. That's going to come up very soon. I know I've made a ton of this is NRV 94, so it's 94 NRVs. And like about half of them haven't come to pass as of yet, or less than half. But it will. It will. Wait and see. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but this didn't happen yet. Didn't happen yet. Timelines have been switched. Things have been delayed due to timelines dropping off, going back and forth, all this kind of nonsense. But we are on track, and, roadblocks may be thrown up. Think of it, you're going along on the highway and all of a sudden, I don't know, a flood happens or a storm happens, whatever, accident, and you're deviated from the straight route and you end up having to take a crazy route. Sometimes you got to go back to go around the other way, blah, blah, go in the other direction to go back again. That's what's happening. That's what's been happening. It's a back and forth thing. Just like Roe v. Wade. I myself was like, what? How can that happen? But then when I was shown the scripture that was in alignment, that predicted, that said Roe v. Wade, the day of the daily sacrifice was going to come to an end. And I was told that it's talking about Roe v. Wade. And that was going to, trigger all this other stuff, like what's happening right now. What's happening right now in Canada, they're making commercials for people to euthanize themselves. It's crazy. And that happens to be a designer or fashion house, whatever. That's what that commercial was made for. So I guess they're trying to get into the death market, the suicide market. Look nice while you're going down. I don't know. Crazy. And of course, Canada's not the only country, but they're also pushing for people to euthanize their children who have disorders. So they're going to find other ways because they need to feed on that energy. They need those souls, they need to entrap them. So the daily sacrifices had come to an end. Alrighty, so yeah, I hope I made that clear. Thank you, Miss Embracing Life, for taking notes for me, because this stuff is coming through while I was trying to move. And I was like, I got to make the video. It came yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, I have to make the video. I was told, make it as soon as you possibly can. So I'm here first thing in the morning with my aching feet and my aching swollen hands making this video for you guys. At least I have lovely scenery and I get to chill in the ocean water too. Alrighty, guys, much love, and keep your vibes high. We're going through the eye of the needle right now. Trust me, I have my own loved ones who biting my nails, praying that they make it. And I was given a revelation this morning. Well, I had an encounter with two of them in the ethereal this morning. So looks like they're gonna Indiana Jones it, which has been my entire life, always Indiana Jonesing it last minute. But I got freaking, my knees are burnt, okay? My back is burnt from Indiana Jonesing and trying to slide it through last second, but such is the way of life. The energies have to be right. All right, everyone. Much love, peace. Love you guys. We got this. Evie out.